Oh, how's it going? I knew you would start this video. Cool. I want to play a game with you. I bet you won't guess which of the following facts are false. Tetris can erase memory. Lobsters are constantly growing a new skeleton. Redheads feel pain more than others. And in my hand is the genitalia of the most aggressive turtle in the world. The latter is a lie. But all the previous facts, and many others I'll tell you about today, although they seem crazy, are very real. Today, our journey will begin with East Asia. For example, did you know that Koreans smell the best on Earth? Of course, Koreans and Japanese sweat, just like you and me, but their body odor is much less pronounced than ours. Another feature is that their earwax is always dry. All this is thanks to the ABCC11 gene variant they inherited, which makes earwax dry and sweat odorless. Scientists agree that this mutation appeared in Asian populations about 50,000 years ago. It's because of this feature of genes that deodorants are not the most popular products in these countries. They are there, but the selection is much more modest. Also, when you're in Korea, don't forget to wash more often because their noses are very sensitive. Great. Let's continue the topic of genetic mutations. Natural red hair is not only an indicator of the absence of a soul, but also extremely rare. Less than 2% of the world's population has it. But it's not just that, but the fact that the genes responsible for hair color are also responsible for the perception of pain. So redheads need more anesthesia. The study shows that redheads need 20% more painkillers than other people. It's precisely because of the fear of pain that redheads cancel a visit to the dentist twice as often as owners of other hair colors. But Mother Nature decided that redheads have such a hard time in life. Remember at least the Inquisition. So it decided to compensate for their problems with a small advantage. This study showed they're less sensitive to pain caused by electric currents. Well, thanks, I guess. What color's your hair? Write in the comments and we'll conduct a sociological experiment to find out which hair color people reach for new knowledge more than others. And I continue. Did you know that playing Tetris can help with PTSD? There is a period of 20 minutes to 6 hours during which certain types of memories embedded in the human mind can be affected, and Tetris is great for replacing stressful memories with other visual images. As it turned out, this method of distraction helps to suppress memories, that is, raw sensory trauma. The therapy was applied to emergency patients who were shocked by a car accident. Their condition significantly improved after only 20 minutes of playing. Also, remember, you're not a nerd, you're just trying to cope with the stress of adult life. But those who don't need to worry about growing up are lobsters. Did you know that these crafty bastards never get old? First, let's understand how aging works in humans. As our cells divide in the process of reproduction, the telomeres, that is, the ends of our chromosomes, become smaller and smaller each time, and each time they protect our DNA less and less. Eventually, the cell enters the senescence phase and stops dividing. But with lobsters, these beautiful, juicy, and delicious creatures, this does not happen. They have a special enzyme called telomerase that helps the cell's telomeres stay as long and flawless as they always are. Lobster cells never enter the phase of physiological aging. But there is a big downside to this. Their skeleton is outside, and if their body grows, then sooner or later it will stop fitting into its exoskeleton. Like my butt and my favorite jeans after winter. Because of this, they have to constantly shed their old shells and grow new ones. This requires a huge amount of energy, and once a lobster reaches a certain size, it simply can't absorb enough calories to grow a new shell the size of Snoop Dogg's villa. That is, lobsters die not of old age, but of exhaustion, or from the fact that they look too delicious. I suggest a drink to honor their memory and taste. There is such an unusual unit of wine volume measurement called the butt. It is equal to 126 gallons, or almost 500 liters, of wine. Almost every country in the world had its units of wine measurement, but the butt was used in Portugal, the USA, and England because there was always trade between them in this noble and sometimes very expensive drink. By the way, did you know that 1 in 100 men in the United States is a psychopath? And who are they, in general, psychopaths? And how to distinguish them from normal people like you and me? All psychopaths have a similar character trait. They often have no sense of guilt. Also, they never repent for anything. They can be called heartless and cruel when it comes to people or animals. And the main thing, no matter what happens, they almost never express any emotions and feel indifference to everything in the world. As for women, 0.3% to 0.7% of US adults can be considered psychopaths. An interesting fact, psychopaths most often choose 3 topics for communication: food, money, and sex. By the way, if you think that psychopaths are necessarily creepy old men living in old shacks deep in the forest, then you are wrong. Most often, psychopathic manifestations are observed in managing directors of companies, lawyers, TV and radio presenters, sale managers, and even surgeons. That is, the more serious your profession, the more likely you are a complete psychopath. As you might expect, psychopaths are much more common than usual among prisoners. Good thing it's not you and me, right? Another interesting fact about the USA, which is slightly related to the previous one, did you know that there are more tigers living as pets in the United States than there are in the wild in the entire world? There are only about 4,000 wild tigers in the world today. At the same time, Americans have more than 7,000 tigers in their backyards, apartments, and even in kennels. America attracts not only adventurers from all over the world, but even tigers. Since 1990, hundreds of dangerous incidents involving these cute cats have been recorded in the United States. They ate Americans and bit off all kinds of parts of their bodies, and it would seem that after such a desire to take them to themselves, it was almost impossible to die. No way. Tigers have become even more popular. In some states, buying a tiger is a lot easier than adopting a dog from a shelter. Of course, keeping such cats is not a cheap pleasure. For example, the famous boxer Mike Tyson once bought 3 Bengal tigers, and he had to pay $50,000 for each. One of his pets bit off the hand of a woman who climbed over the fence and for some reason decided that playing with someone else's exotic animal was a cool idea. One more fact, previously all devices had to be connected by wires to transmit signals to each other. Fortunately, Bluetooth appeared in good time, a wireless communication technology that connects computers, phones, mice, gamepads, headphones, and much more. But why does it have such a name? Bluetooth. Well, it's all about history. This is King Harold, the first of the Vikings. He lived in Denmark about 1,000 years ago. He got his nickname because of a rotten front tooth, which sometimes looked blue. During the years of his reign, the king managed to unite the warring Danish and Norwegian tribes into one kingdom. Our invention was named after him. In fact, Bluetooth does the same with communication protocols, combining them into one universal standard. One day, such technological giants as Sony Ericsson and Nokia decided that the IR port was outdated and that this technology had to be replaced by something. Moreover, the idea of wireless headphones had been on the horizon for a long time, but it was difficult to implement. Until a technological breakthrough occurred in 1999, and a decision was made to create a single wireless communication standard. Over the years, the technology only got better and faster. And today, it is impossible to do without Bluetooth. Although its initial mission was changed, we do not transfer information, but mainly connect devices. Technological progress is still progress, but do not forget that there are things that we do not control. This is how you plan your whole life in advance, and then at any moment without warning, a gamma ray burst can destroy all life on Earth. Great. Like we didn't have enough problems already. Putin, global warming, TikTok celebrities, and now also gamma ray bursts. A gamma ray burst is a cosmic emission of energy produced by the merger of neutron stars, a black hole, or a neutron star. Their, so to speak, love connection in a few seconds of flash releases as much energy as the sun would release in 10 billion years of light. A few years ago, the most powerful surge in the history of observations was recorded. It flew towards us from 2 billion light years away and still had enough energy to be detected. So you can imagine what a burst that originates in our galaxy can do. If this happens, neither atmosphere nor prayers will help us. All living things on one half of the planet will be exterminated in an instant, and on the other half, someone may have time to drink a cup of joe in farewell. It's likely the gamma ray burst was once the cause of the Great Extinction that occurred about 443 million years ago. Then 60% of species of living beings on the planet died. Hey, but let's still be optimistic. Bruce Willis once saved us from a meteorite, so someone will save us from a flash. And until nothing like that happens, you need to enjoy life, have a delicious dinner, and of course, fall in love. Did you know that women didn't always get married in white dresses? This tradition was introduced by Queen Victoria, who ruled England in the 19th century. You will be surprised, but the white color does not carry any meaning and does not symbolize purity as many people think. Queen Victoria set two of the biggest fashion trends: deep black mourning clothes and white wedding dresses. After the wedding of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, other European leaders followed their example. New dresses were especially luxurious and very expensive. Washing clothes was taxed in the 19th century, and white dresses were difficult to keep clean. Before that, most brides simply wore their best dress of any color to the wedding because it was expensive and considered unwise to buy a dress just for the wedding occasion. In the 20th century, the fashion for white dresses was popularized by Hollywood and its films. As people became more prosperous after the Second World War and the production of clothes became cheaper every day, the white wedding dress became available not only to the famous and rich, but to everyone in general. And that's great. From white dresses, we suddenly pass to small insects, which you've probably seen at least once in your life. There are 2.5 million ants per person on Earth. Just so you understand, if you take all the ants on the planet and take all the people, their weight will be roughly equal. Ants live on all continents of the Earth except Antarctica, and everywhere they perform important work. They create ecosystems, spread seeds, loosen soil, and accelerate plant decomposition. You may not even imagine how much everything in the world depends on them. Due to the fact that recently there is a trend of ants' extinction, scientists are preoccupied and try to learn as much as possible about these insects. One of the important parameters is the number. According to the latest research, there are about 20 quadrillion ants on the planet, and the total weight of all of them is about 12 megatons. This is the weight of 2 Cheops pyramids. The main proof that all the facts in this video are true is that I never grew a nose. By the way, where is it? I can't breathe. This is the luck of Voldemort. No nose, no problems. You can focus on conquering the world. As for the rest of us, no matter what our nose is, small, neat, big, prominent, and eagle-like, it's always in the field of view of our eyes. However, the brain simply ignores it because it's not interested in it. The fact is, our brain prefers to filter out unnecessary information in order to have more resources for the really important things. For example, for the text of a song from a Dove commercial. But the nose refers to the brain as unnecessary information. But if you try to concentrate on this part of the face right now, the brain will notice it. Are you fond of your nose? Well, thanks for absorbing all this information today. Take care of the ants, play some Tetris, and don't buy tigers. And be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell to learn even more crazy facts about our planet Earth. Bye-bye, and see you soon.